Hello there, dear friends. Welcome, welcome. It's so nice to have you pull up a chair and join me for a little chat today. Please make yourself comfortable, perhaps grab that favorite Afghan or cushion. Let's talk about something that, unfortunately, many of us become quite familiar with as we journey through the years. Those pesky, sometimes downright stubborn, aches and pains in our joints. You know exactly what I mean, don't you? It might be that first thing in the morning feeling when your fingers seem to have forgotten how to bend easily, making simple tasks like buttoning a blouse or opening a medicine bottle feel like climbing a little mountain. Or perhaps it's the knees that announce your presence with a chorus of clicks and creaks whenever you stand up from watching television or rise from the dinner table. Maybe it's a deeper ache in your hips that makes a leisurely stroll feel less appealing, or that persistent throbbing in your knuckles, especially when the air turns damp and cold, reminding you of weather changes more accurately than any forecast. It could be a shoulder that complains when you reach up to get a can from the pantry, or wrists that ache after a pleasant afternoon of knitting or gardening. Whether it's a dull, constant background noise of discomfort, or a sharper, more insistent twinge that catches you by surprise, this joint soreness can truly cast a shadow over your day, can't it? It chips away at your energy, makes you hesitate before joining in an activity, and sometimes just makes you want to curl up and stay put. It's more than just a physical sensation. It's deeply frustrating. It can feel like your own body, your trusted companion through life, is suddenly putting up roadblocks, making everything just a little bit harder. You try your best. Maybe you use those comforting heat pads. You do your gentle stretches. You try to keep moving as the doctors advise. But still, on some days, that discomfort just stubbornly hangs around like an uninvited guest. It can leave you feeling weary, not just physically but mentally too, wondering if this is just how things are now. And sometimes, in those quiet moments, you might find yourself wishing, sighing perhaps, oh, for something simple. Isn't there anything straightforward I could try? Just for a little bit of quick comfort, something I likely already have right here at home, without needing fancy potions or expensive gadgets? Well, hold on to that thought, that little flicker of hope for simple relief. What if I told you that a very common, incredibly inexpensive little helper, likely residing quietly in your kitchen pantry right now, might hold a surprising key to offering some gentle, temporary soothing for those bothersome joints? Something people have turned to in various simple ways for generations, often passed down through families. Stay with me for a bit, because sometimes the most humble household staples possess unexpected talents. If this sounds familiar, those creaky mornings, the stiff fingers, the wish for simple comfort, please do take a moment and drop a comment below. Just sharing a quick "yes, I feel that way too," or mentioning which joint bothers you most helps us all feel less alone in these experiences. I genuinely love reading your thoughts and knowing we're connecting. And if you find these chats helpful, perhaps click that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you don't miss our future conversations. Stick around with me today, because we're about to explore a remarkably simple idea that might just help offer a bit of that gentle relief you're seeking. Alright then, so what wonders does this humble kitchen staple hold? Well, settle in, because today we're going to gently unpack the potential of good old baking soda. Yes, sodium bicarbonate, when it comes to easing joint discomfort. We'll explore 3 specific, gentle ways people have traditionally used it for temporary relief. We'll touch upon how it's thought to possibly work, keeping the explanations very simple and clear. No confusing scientific jargon, I promise. Think of it as understanding the why behind these simple home methods. And because everyone deserves a little pampering, especially when dealing with aches, I've got a delightful bonus tip tucked in towards the end. It's perfect for soothing those tired, achy feet after a long day. Plus, I can't wait to share a truly heartwarming short story about a lovely lady, someone just like us who found a surprising measure of comfort for her busy hands using one of these very simple techniques. Now, I can practically hear the gears turning in some of your minds. Baking soda? The stuff I use to make cookies rise or scrub the sink for joint pain? The skepticism is absolutely warranted and completely understandable. It sounds almost too ordinary, maybe even a bit far-fetched in our modern world of complex medicines. Let me be crystal clear right up front. We are absolutely not talking about a miracle cure or a replacement for proper medical care or prescribed treatments. Please always follow your doctor's advice for managing arthritis or any chronic condition. What we are exploring today are simple, traditional home comfort measures that some individuals find offer a degree of gentle, temporary soothing. Think of them as small, kind things you can do for yourself, using something incredibly accessible and inexpensive that you likely already have. The beauty lies in its simplicity and availability. So let's approach this with open minds and gentle curiosity. Pour yourself that nice cup of tea, maybe find that extra comfy cushion for your back, take a nice, slow breath, and let's investigate this familiar kitchen friend together, shall we? Like neighbors sharing tips over the garden fence. Okay, let's begin with perhaps the most widely known and wonderfully gentle way people use baking soda for soothing achy joints: preparing a warm baking soda soak. This method is particularly lovely and easy to manage for discomfort in smaller joint areas, like your hands and fingers, your feet and ankles, or even your elbows. Imagine sinking those tired, stiff joints into a basin of comfortably warm water. It's like giving them a personalized miniature spa treatment right in your own home, a comforting embrace of warmth and gentle care. So, why might adding simple baking soda to this warm water potentially offer some relief? Well, as we mentioned, baking soda is chemically known as sodium bicarbonate. When you dissolve it in warm water, it creates a solution that is mildly alkaline. There are a couple of simple theories passed down through generations and observed anecdotally about why this might feel soothing. One idea is that the alkaline water helps to gently balance the skin and perhaps the area around the joint, potentially counteracting some of the localized acidity that can sometimes be associated with inflammation and the sensation of pain. Another thought is that the baking soda might help to soften the water in the skin, allowing the warmth to penetrate more effectively, and perhaps helping to gently draw out feelings of soreness or stiffness, almost like a very mild, natural poultice effect within the water itself. Think of it like giving the area a thorough yet gentle cleansing and balancing, combined with comforting heat. While rigorous scientific studies confirming exactly how it works directly on joint pain via soaking might be limited, the fact remains that countless people over many, many years have found this simple soak provides a noticeable degree of temporary comfort and relief from aches. Sometimes just the ritual itself, taking the time to care for yourself, enjoying the warmth and the sensation, can be incredibly therapeutic, reducing tension and making the joints feel a bit looser and happier, even if just for a while. And the practical steps couldn't be much simpler. Find a clean basin, a large bowl, or even use your bathroom sink if it's comfortable. Fill it with water that's comfortably warm to the touch. Please, be careful not to make it too hot, especially if you have sensitive skin or reduced sensation. Test it with your wrist or elbow first, like you would a baby's bath. For roughly every quart, which is about 4 cups or a liter of water, stir in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of common baking soda. Swish it around gently with your hand until the powder dissolves completely. Then lower your achy hands, feet, or elbows into the water, making sure the joints are fully submerged if possible. Now comes the best part. Just relax. Let them soak for about 15, maybe 20 minutes. Close your eyes, listen to some soft music. Perhaps do some gentle finger or toe wiggles in the water if it feels good. When you're done, lift your hands or feet out, rinse them well under clean, plain, lukewarm water to remove any residue, and then gently pat your skin completely dry with a soft towel. Now, a very important gentle reminder about safety. If you know you have particularly sensitive skin, it's always a wise precaution to test this soak on a small, inconspicuous patch of skin first to make sure it doesn't cause any redness or irritation. And please never use this soak or any soak on skin that is broken, cracked, or has open sores or wounds. Also, if you have specific skin conditions like eczema or psoriasis, or if you have significant circulatory problems, like those sometimes associated with diabetes, it's truly essential to have a quick chat with your doctor or healthcare provider before trying any new types of soaks, even simple ones like this. Your health and safety always come first. All right, let's move on to our second method, which offers a more concentrated approach for targeting discomfort in a specific, localized joint area. This involves creating and applying a simple baking soda paste. This might be something you consider if, for example, one particular knuckle is really bothering you, Or perhaps a specific spot on your elbow or knee feels particularly achy, and a full soak isn't practical or necessary. You're essentially creating a little homemade poultice to apply directly to the source of the soreness. The underlying idea or principle is quite similar to the soak, leveraging the properties of baking soda, but in a more focused manner. By creating a paste, you're applying a higher concentration of the sodium bicarbonate directly onto the skin over the troublesome joint. Again, the traditional thinking is that the alkaline nature of this paste might help to gently soothe the localized discomfort, perhaps by creating that balancing effect on the skin's surface, or offering a gentle, drawing sensation that some people find relieves that nagging ache. Think of old-fashioned home remedies where pastes made from mustard, clay, or other natural ingredients were applied directly to bumps, bruises, or sore spots. This falls into that category of simple topical applications aimed at providing localized comfort. It's about delivering the potential soothing agent right where you feel you need it most. Making the paste is incredibly straightforward. You'll just need a small dish or bowl. Put a modest amount of baking soda into it. Start with maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons depending on the size of the area you want to cover. Then, add water. Cool or lukewarm water works best. Very slowly, just a few drops at a time. Stir it constantly as you add the water. Your goal is to create a smooth, thick paste, something with the consistency of toothpaste perhaps, thick enough to stay put but still easily spreadable. You don't want it to be watery or runny, or it won't stay on the joint. Once you have your paste ready, gently apply a layer of it directly over the skin covering the achy joint. Use your fingers or perhaps a small spatula. Be gentle, don't rub it in vigorously. And again, it's crucial to avoid applying it to any areas where the skin is broken, cut, scraped, or irritated. Once applied, let the paste sit on the skin for about 10 to 15 minutes. It's generally best not to let it dry completely hard and cracked, as that can sometimes be irritating to remove. After the time is up, rinse the area very thoroughly with plenty of lukewarm water, making sure all traces of the paste are gone. Then, gently pat the skin completely dry with a soft towel. Now please listen closely to this important safety note. Because this paste is much more concentrated than the diluted soak water, it carries a slightly higher potential for causing skin irritation in sensitive individuals. Therefore, it is absolutely essential that you perform a patch test before applying it to a larger area or a sensitive joint. How do you do that? Just mix up a tiny amount of the paste and apply it to a small, out-of-the-way patch of skin, like the inside of your wrist or elbow. Leave it for the recommended 10 to 15 minutes, then rinse it off. Wait for about 24 hours to see if any significant redness, itching, stinging, or irritation develops. If it does, then this paste method is likely not suitable for your skin, and you shouldn't use it. If the patch test is clear, you can proceed more confidently, but still discontinue use immediately if you feel any discomfort during application. And as always, if you have any pre-existing skin conditions or concerns, a quick consultation with your doctor or dermatologist before trying a new topical remedy is always the wisest and safest course of action. Now, we arrive at our third point, and I need to approach this one with a very strong emphasis on caution and safety. It's a question that sometimes comes up. If baking soda might help externally, what about taking it internally? Can you drink baking soda dissolved in water to help with joint pain or inflammation? This idea often stems from theories about reducing overall body acidity, sometimes called alkalizing the body, with the thought that less acidity might mean less inflammation, and therefore less pain. While this theory circulates in some alternative health circles, I must strongly advise against attempting to self-treat joint pain by ingesting baking soda, especially for seniors, unless you are doing so under the direct, explicit guidance and close supervision of your medical doctor. Why such a strong warning? Why is drinking baking soda potentially risky, especially for us as we get older? Unlike using it externally in diluted soaks or temporary pastes, taking baking soda internally introduces a significant amount of sodium bicarbonate directly into your finely balanced internal system. And this can cause several serious problems. Firstly, baking soda is very high in sodium. Just 1 teaspoon contains a large amount. For anyone managing high blood pressure, heart failure, kidney disease or liver disease, or those on a sodium-restricted diet for any reason, consuming this much extra sodium can be very dangerous, potentially leading to fluid retention, increased blood pressure, and putting extra strain on your heart and kidneys. Secondly, drinking baking soda can significantly alter the acid balance in your stomach. While it might temporarily neutralize acid, it can also cause rebound acid production and lead to severe stomach upset, gas, bloating, and even potentially dangerous conditions if underlying stomach issues exist. Thirdly, it can interfere with how your body absorbs and uses certain medications. It can affect antibiotics, aspirin, medications for osteoporosis, and many others, making them less effective or causing unexpected side effects. Fourthly, consuming too much baking soda can disrupt your body's crucial electrolyte balance. The levels of minerals like potassium, calcium, and sodium in your blood that are vital for nerve and muscle function, including your heart rhythm. Serious imbalances can occur, particularly if kidney function is already compromised, which is more common as we age. Think of your body's internal chemistry like a very delicate ecosystem. Pouring in a strong alkaline substance like baking soda without understanding all the potential downstream effects can be like introducing an invasive species. It can throw the whole system off balance, sometimes with severe consequences. While very small, specific doses might occasionally be recommended by a doctor for certain medical conditions, like specific types of kidney disease or acidosis. This is done under careful monitoring and is not something to experiment with at home based on something you read online or heard from a friend regarding joint pain. The potential risks: high sodium load, medication interactions, electrolyte imbalances, stomach upset, kidney strain, far outweigh any unproven or anecdotal benefits for joint pain when taken internally without professional medical guidance. So the essential practical step here is crystal clear. Please do not experiment with drinking baking soda dissolved in water as a home remedy for joint pain or inflammation. Protect your health and safety. If you're curious about dietary approaches to inflammation, have a conversation with your doctor or a registered dietitian about safe, evidence-based nutritional strategies. For home comfort measures for joint pain using baking soda, please stick to the much safer external applications, the gentle soaks and the carefully patch-tested pastes. Your well-being is paramount. All right, after navigating that very important safety discussion, let's bring things back to a place of pure comfort and gentle pampering with our delightful bonus tip. This revisits the wonderfully soothing baking soda foot soak, but elevates it from simple relief to a truly spa-like experience for your hard-working feet. Oh, our poor feet. They carry us through countless steps each day, bearing our weight, squeezed into shoes, traversing different surfaces. It's no wonder they often end up feeling tired, achy, and deserving of some special attention. Especially if you also deal with joint discomfort in your ankles or toes, perhaps from arthritis, plantar fasciitis, or just a long day of being active. As we already discussed, the basic warm baking soda foot soak itself, filling that basin with comfortably warm water and dissolving those few tablespoons of baking soda, offers lovely, simple relief. The warmth relaxes muscles and eases stiffness, while the baking soda gently softens the water and skin, making the whole experience feel soothing. But why stop there when we can add an extra layer of blissful relaxation? To transform this simple soak into a mini retreat for your feet, consider adding just a few drops of a calming essential oil to the water. Imagine sinking your feet into that warm, silky water, and then inhaling a gentle, beautiful fragrance. It truly enhances the experience. Lavender essential oil is perhaps the most popular choice for relaxation. Its scent is widely known for promoting calmness and easing tension, making it perfect for an end-of-day soak to help you unwind. Just 2 or 3 drops are usually plenty. Or if your feet are feeling particularly hot and tired, a couple of drops of peppermint essential oil can provide a wonderfully refreshing and cooling tingle. Use peppermint very sparingly, as it's quite potent and avoid it if you have very sensitive skin. Other lovely options might include chamomile for calming or perhaps eucalyptus if you enjoy a clearing, invigorating scent. Again, use with care. The key is to choose 100% pure essential oils that are intended for topical use, check the label, and to use only a very small amount. Just a few drops are needed to perfume the water gently. Add the drops after the baking soda has dissolved, and give the water a gentle swirl with your hand to disperse the oil. Then find a comfortable chair, perhaps dim the lights. Put on some soft, instrumental music. Maybe have a good book or magazine handy. Immerse your feet in that fragrant, warm water and just let go. Allow yourself a full 15 to 20 minutes of uninterrupted peace. Wiggle your toes gently. Feel the warmth seep into those tired joints and muscles. Breathe in the calming aroma. It's amazing how such a simple ritual can feel so luxurious and restorative. My dear Aunt Millie, the avid gardener I mentioned, considers her nightly baking soda foot soak with lavender oil an absolute non-negotiable ritual. She says it not only eases the aches from kneeling and digging, but also signals to her body that it's time to wind down, helping her sleep more soundly. It's her little slice of affordable luxury. So, why not give it a try? Treat your feet. They deserve it. It's a beautiful act of self-care that costs pennies but can feel like $1,000,000, offering both physical comfort and mental tranquility. Now let me share a little more about Esther, the lovely lady with the magic crochet hook I mentioned earlier. Her story is such a gentle illustration of how sometimes the simplest things can help us hold on to the activities that bring us meaning and joy. Esther, at 82, wasn't just someone who crocheted occasionally. It was her lifelong passion, her art, form. Her hands, guided by decades of practice, could transform a simple strand of yarn into the most breathtakingly intricate lace shawls, delicate baby blankets, and complex patterned afghans. Each stitch was perfect, a testament to her skill and patience. Her cozy living room was filled with colorful skeins of yarn, pattern books, and works in progress. Crocheting wasn't just a hobby for Esther. It was her creative expression, her way of gifting beauty to others, and a source of immense personal satisfaction and peaceful focus. But lately, that peace had been disrupted by the persistent, unwelcome ache and stiffness in her finger joints, particularly her knuckles. It was classic osteoarthritis, her doctor had confirmed, offering pain relief creams and advice on gentle exercises. The creams provided some temporary numbness, but the underlying stiffness often remained, especially first thing in the morning or after sitting for a while. Holding the slender crochet hook became challenging. Her grip felt weaker, the fine movements required felt clumsy, and sometimes a sharp jab of pain would make her wince and drop her work. Some days were better than others, but the bad days were becoming more frequent, forcing her to put her beloved projects aside for hours, sometimes even days. This wasn't just physically limiting, it was emotionally draining. She felt frustrated by her own hands, saddened by the inability to lose herself in the rhythmic flow of stitches, and worried that she might eventually have to give up her craft altogether. That thought was almost unbearable. One sunny afternoon, Esther was having tea in the garden with her next-door neighbor, Margaret. As they chatted, Esther gently rubbed her knuckles, a habit she'd developed. Margaret noticed and asked if her hands were bothering her. Esther sighed and shared her frustrations. Margaret, a practical woman with a wealth of traditional knowledge, listened sympathetically and then said, "You know, Esther, when my hands get achy from gardening, I sometimes find a warm soak with a bit of baking soda helps ease them a bit. Just for a little while, mind you." Esther looked up, her expression a mixture of surprise and skepticism. "Baking soda? Really, Margaret? The stuff from the kitchen?" It sounded utterly implausible, like something her grandmother might have suggested generations ago. Margaret just shrugged gently. "Well, it feels nice and warm, and sometimes it just seems to take the edge off the stiffness for me. You've got a box under the sink, haven't you? Costs nothing to try." Esther remained doubtful, but later that evening, as her fingers throbbed with a familiar ache after attempting a tricky lace pattern, Margaret's words echoed in her mind. Feeling she had little to lose, she decided to give it a go. She found a small basin, filled it with pleasantly warm water, measured out 2 heaping tablespoons of baking soda from the bright yellow box, stirred it until it dissolved, and then, with a sigh of resignation, she lowered both hands into the water. The warmth was immediately comforting, she had to admit. She sat there quietly for about 15 minutes, soaking her hands, gently flexing and unflexing her fingers in the water as Margaret had suggested. She didn't expect a miracle. When the time was up, she carefully lifted her hands out, rinsed them under the tap and patted them dry with a soft towel, and then she paused. She slowly curled and uncurled her fingers. The deep ache hadn't vanished entirely, but the sharp, biting quality of the pain seemed noticeably muted. The intense stiffness felt lessened. Her fingers felt a little looser, more supple. It was a subtle difference, but it was definitely there. Intrigued and pleasantly surprised, Esther decided to continue the experiment. She started making the warm baking soda hand soak a regular part of her evening ritual, especially on days when she'd done a lot of crocheting or felt that familiar stiffness creeping in. She found that this simple, consistent practice didn't cure her arthritis, of course, but it reliably provided enough temporary relief to make a real difference. The soak seemed to ease the discomfort enough that she could often manage her crocheting for longer stretches the following day. Her grip on the hook felt more secure, the intricate movements flowed more smoothly, and the frustration lessened. It became her little secret weapon, a simple tool in her arthritis management toolkit. When she showed me that stunning, intricate, white lace shawl she had just completed, a masterpiece of delicate stitches, her eyes shone with pride and relief. "You know," she confided, leaning in with a smile, "that silly baking soda soak my neighbor suggested? It actually helps. It doesn't make the arthritis go away, but it helps me manage, helps me keep doing what brings me joy." Esther's experience is such a lovely, gentle reminder that we shouldn't always dismiss simple, traditional remedies out of hand. While not a cure, sometimes these accessible comfort measures can be surprisingly effective in helping us navigate challenges and maintain the quality of life and the connection to the passions that make our lives rich and meaningful. So, my dear friends, as we gently wind down our time together today, let's softly gather the key takeaways from our exploration into the surprising potential of humble, everyday baking soda for easing joint discomfort. We ventured into the comforting world of warm baking soda soaks, imagining sinking those achy hands, feet, or elbows into the soothing water, a simple ritual that generations have found offers gentle, temporary relief from stiffness and soreness. We also looked at creating a targeted baking soda paste for applying directly to a specific troublesome spot, remembering the crucial importance of doing that patch test first to ensure it doesn't irritate your unique skin. And perhaps most importantly, we addressed the idea of taking baking soda internally, delivering a very clear and strong message of extreme caution. Please do not drink baking soda dissolved in water as a self-treatment for joint pain due to the significant potential health risks involving sodium levels, medication interactions, and electrolyte balance, especially for us seniors, unless you are under the specific guidance and close monitoring of your trusted doctor. Safety must always be our first priority. And of course, we didn't forget our lovely bonus tip, elevating that simple foot soak into a pampering spa-like treat with the addition of a few drops of calming essential oil, a beautiful act of self-care for those hard-working feet. It's all about exploring gentle, accessible options for finding moments of comfort, always armed with knowledge and a focus on well-being. I sincerely hope that our conversation today has perhaps sparked a little curiosity, offered a simple idea you might feel comfortable and safe trying, like the soaks, or maybe just provided a bit of friendly reassurance that you're not alone in seeking relief from those common aches and pains. Perhaps the next time your knuckles are feeling particularly stiff or your feet are throbbing after a busy day, you might consider trying that warm, gentle baking soda soak. Remember, we're not chasing miracle cures here. We're embracing the possibility of finding small incremental improvements, those little moments of better that can make a significant difference in our daily comfort and outlook. It's about adding simple, kind tools to your self-care toolkit. And now, I would genuinely love to hear from you. Your experiences and wisdom enrich our little community here so much. Have you ever tried using baking soda in a soak or paste for aches? Did you find it helpful? Or perhaps you have another simple, traditional home remedy passed down through your family that you find brings comfort? Please, if you feel comfortable doing so, share your thoughts, experiences, or questions in the comments section below. Sharing our journeys helps us all learn and feel more connected. If you found this chat helpful, perhaps learned something new, or simply enjoyed our time together, would you do me the kindness of giving this video a little thumbs up by clicking that like button? It's a small gesture that truly helps others who might be searching for similar gentle, practical tips to find this conversation too. And if you haven't already become part of our growing circle of friends here, I would be absolutely delighted if you'd click the subscribe button and maybe the little notification bell as well, so you won't miss out on our future chats about staying healthy, happy, and comfortable. Think of it as saving your seat for our next get-together. And finally, maybe consider sharing this video. Perhaps you have a friend, a neighbor, or a family member who often mentions struggling with achy joints and might appreciate hearing about these simple, cautious possibilities for home comfort. Sharing information offered with care and caution can be a wonderful way to show you're thinking of them. Thank you, from the bottom of my heart, for lending me your time and your attention today. It is always a privilege to connect with you. Until we gather again for our next chat, please promise me you'll take wonderful care of yourselves. Listen to the wisdom of your body, prioritize your safety, seek joy in the small things, and stay as comfortable as possible. Sending you my warmest thoughts and very best wishes. Bye for now.